power equals economic power. So if we sort our economy, if we have some economic might and strength and all of this. So, well, it's a good one. It's a very good one. I mean, a lot of people for once have actually supported this government for that particular action of reciprocating the gesture that was done by the United Kingdom. If you look at it in all ramification, it's not fair. You know, it's so unjust. If you're saying you're putting this country and all of these countries, especially, you know, in Africa, on that red list, you want to begin to also look at the other countries and find out why are we on the red list and why are they not on the red list? Because they seem to have more cases, you know, than some of the countries in the continent. So scientifically, it is not, you know, correct. And in all fairness, it is not correct. So it's a good one that we have been taking out. But the issues, you know, that probably will lead to all of this needs to be addressed. We need to begin to put our acts together. We can't constantly be very dependent, you know, on the West for everything that we want. And, you know, COVID-19 should be, I'm hoping that it should have been or should be an eye-opener for everyone.
Well, it is an eye-opener for everyone, and we should, Africans, that is, not be blamed because we were the ones who discovered the variant here. I mean, it just felt as though we're being punished, as it were. In South Africa, they were really forthcoming. They were not in denial. When they found that particular or discovered the Omicron variant, they announced it to the world. I didn't give the UAE, the United, like a heated an argument between both some guests that we had. You know, one of them was saying that right now is at the nation's premier university, that's at the University of Ibadan. And from the latest ranking released by the Nigerian Universities Commission, the University of Ibadan, you know, came tops out of all the universities in Nigeria. Mercy, did you graduate from UI?
No, I did not, but you know, UI is a very prominent university, and from 2016, UI has actually been, you know, topping 1, 2. That's also one thing that is working for them. Another factor also, because, you know, with all of this ranking, there would be some criteria that would be used. But, you know, generally speaking, I feel that the UI is such a great university with 13 faculties, best in medicine, best in economies, and you want to go on. The list is endless. So I think they do deserve it. And I'm hoping that all of the universities in Nigeria, you know, would actually look at what UI is doing and see how they can replicate.
Well, it is a good thing that the University of Ibadan has actually ranked him first out of all the universities in Nigeria. But then again, we should move away from just, you know, being the first in Nigeria, you know, because the last time I saw such rankings across the world, Nigeria was nowhere to be found amongst the top 100. It is really not something that we should be, you know, talking about, because if we're not in the first
I think it was 1,000. You know, from 2016, yeah. UI would always represent Nigeria in the 1,000. So we need to
100. 1,000 is way far. Mercy of all universities in the world,
but the fact that we even made it to 1,000 is something to appreciate. We can do better.
So basically, it boils to the fact that we need to, you know, step up our educational standards, infrastructural development in our university systems, so that Nigerians can actually, you know, raise their head in pride and say that whatever I can get from the University of California, you know, can be gotten here in Nigeria. So we don't really, you know, need to, you know, all travel out to get the better education as we try. Because before now, back in the day, we used to have exchange students come to Nigeria, you know, to learn from our universities, and we also do some sort of exchange programs with other universities. But lately, I mean, the foreigners
I don't even want to talk about. I don't want to talk about, you know, the curriculum. I don't want to talk about the curriculum. Look at our learning environment. I'm hoping that we can do better. I really do not know, but the couple of universities that I've actually visited, the 9 years of how the infrastructure of our, you know, higher institutions are in, you know, the part of the country. I mean, in some part of the country, if not all, really, really bad. And sometimes you hear we have labs. How many of these labs are functional? I don't want to say it, but probably saying this or see a monitor prior to this time.
I got to see Mercy Well, I believe that each student should have a computer. If you're studying computer science without a computer or a laptop, I don't know what you're
No,
doing.
I'm just saying that if you look at what we're just talking about basic infrastructure now
Yes.
and the learning environment. You go to some of these universities, they don't even have power supply. I mean, the lecturers are just, somewhere and they have a lot of work to do. You don't
Most
have
of them
power
don't even
supply.
care to even come
They
to
don't have
classes.
power supply. They're just there, and you're expecting them to assess students in that condition. They could be very aggressive. Everywhere is very hot. The whole learning place. You go to the lecture rooms. There's really nothing to write home about. I remember at the time where I was still schooling. I was still in Nigeria here, and then I had a friend who was in Ghana, and then he would say, "I'm still in school," and I'm like, "What are you doing in school?" He said, "Everywhere is lit because there's light, there's power." That would be the word. Everywhere is lit. So how many other universities can we say that, the learning environment is not even necessary for us? And because wherever you put your money, wherever your heart is.
To up their game. So aside from getting UI top, other investors too will join us today.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshuke.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. No question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild. This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity. No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event on Plus TV.
The Master this week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Statutorily mandated to ensure that there is regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. The Master bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on this channel.
It's time for Off the Press with Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Benefits, that's what you have. Poor port infrastructure may deny Nigeria Africa Continental Free Trade Area benefits. That's a bold caption on the Daily Independent. Despite recovery, economic growth remains fragile. The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele is quoted on that. You also have Omicron variant. United Kingdom removes Nigeria, 10 others from travel red list. And criminals plan to recruit students into banditry and kidnapping presiding officers. Senate amends rules and OK simple majority for electing presiding officers. No piece of integrity in APC from Buhari downwards. Ayo Adebanjo is quoted on that. And just before we move away from the Daily Independent newspaper this morning, COVID-19 has exposed weaknesses of our health institutions. That's what the Senate is quoted to say. And you also have INEC commissioners. Buhari finally drops Onoche for Mbu. That's on also on the Daily Independent newspaper. Well, that's the much we can take at this point in time.
Away from the Daily Independent, we'll move on next to the Punch newspaper. Private sector fears job losses, firms closure over planned taxes and tariffs. With some writers there, MAN, that's the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, NASIMA, NECA, others ask National Assembly to dismiss bills on proposed levies. You can't settle or you can't stifle businesses when other nations are providing incentives to firms. Well, let me take that again. Reps approve fresh $5.86 billion loan, $10 million grant for federal government. UK reverses Nigeria of Australia. That's according to the DMO, the Debt Management Office. More stories beside the masthead. NSA lists Islamic groups behind terrorism, seeks clerics' support. Now, fake oil magnate jailed 175 years for defrauding American over $8 million or $629,000. More stories on the front page of the Punch this morning. Obasanjo loses monarch in Ogun. Abiodun mourns. Presidential bid. Tinubu meets Northern Alliance. Says consultations ongoing. Ogun 18-year-old student arrested for poisoning female bachelor. Bamidele picks Ekiti governorship form. Says Fayemi deserves worthy successor. 7 travelers killed as bus from Zamfara crashes in Osun, catches fire. Omicron, Lagos to begin errant inbound passengers prosecution to curb spread. Those are all of the stories you can find on the front page of the Punch this Wednesday morning.
All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper this morning. The bold caption reads, lawmakers target of attacks during Yuletide, says DSS. It's a bold caption. And you also have NAS names 3 terror sponsors. Buhari governors discuss insecurity.
What we are reviewing this morning is the leadership. Security, tax. All right. That Isaiah believed Nigeria could be fixed, according to Kuru. He always put his country first, Lai Mohammed. He did not die in vain, SGF boss Mustafa. He will be forever remembered by Nigerians, Aisha Buhari. He was a great, passionate husband, says wife Zainab. Let's have a personal relationship with God as he, INEC commissioners, minister. Military 21 against all odds.
As target during this Yuletide period.
Yeah, honestly speaking, that's a very strange story to me. In some other parts of the world, when criminals are planning crime, what the security agencies, when they do have information to that effect, is to disrupt the activities of those criminals. It is only here in Nigeria that you find the DSS, the State Security Service, sometimes the Nigerian police too, they will be raising an alarm from the very rooftop rather than do their work. If they know certain persons are trying to recruit to them, to kidnap lawmakers and other politicians during the Yuletide, why don't they go for those people who are planning such activities rather than announce it? My guess is that they are not too sure of their fact. That's why they are making the announcement. They are just trying to take a kind of preemptive action. And you and I are quite aware of the antecedent of the DSS. That most times, if not all the time, they never told the truth. They were told Sunday Igboho stockpile arms and ammunition in his house in order to overthrow the government. Because of that, they went ransacked, destroyed the house, and killed 2 people using pistols. At the time, I think a human rights activist, he was accused of killing somebody and prosecuted all the way in Kano when the young man was in Lagos there. Of course, Showeretu has been in one form of incarceration and harassment for so many months, or if not year now, because he is accused of planning to overthrow the government of the Federal Republic by the DSS. I don't believe in the DSS. It's not an organization that is credible at all. If I have my way, there should be no DSS in a democratic Nigeria. And you recollect, this was the way they were behaving when Buhari was military head of state in 1983-85. Such that when the government of Babangida came in, it had to disband the DSS. They were called the NSO at that period of time. I suspect that fate is also likely to befall the DSS after Buhari might have left office, because that organization has not concentrated on the mandate for which it was set up. Whether it is committed to harassing, intimidating, and telling bogus lies to Nigerians instead of engaging and carrying out the activities, providing security for the executive government, the judiciary, and whoever may need it, and not start making noise and announcing themselves on the pages of this paper. Just yesterday, to their spokesman, Dr. Afunaya, what is it called? He addressed a press comment that they have been giving Namikano a red carpet treatment. If Namikano has been getting a red carpet treatment, with his lawyer has been crying that the man is gradually dying instrumentally. So please, let's forget it. If they have information that certain persons are trying to commit.
Punch newspaper. The main headline for this morning is a fallout from what we heard yesterday, that the federal government plans, to tax and levy Nigerians more, come 2020, and their reactions. Private sector fears job losses, firms closure over planned taxes and tariffs. What are your thoughts, Barrister Kolawole?
MDAs and organizations of the Nigerian politicians fighting a war and relying on wholesale importation of arms and ammunition to fight the war. We are borrowing money. We have forgotten that when the Nigerian nation fought the civil war in 67 to 70, there were people in charge of the economy who made sure that Nigeria didn't borrow a single penny to prosecute that war. And the war was a war one way or the other. So, why would anybody be levying charges and penalties with all manners of taxes that is already being imposed on Nigeria? They try to increase VAT, the company tax are there, educational levies are there, all manners, the vehicle registration fees have been increased. You cannot use water the way you like because you pay through your nose in some places for the way it is available. Look at the PSN. Look at the kind of jumbo bill that we are getting from all those organizations. Yes, the minimum wage remains at 30,000 level. And then you are also planning to increase fuel. The cost of gas has gone up astronomically, so that people have gone back to using wood and charcoal, which they stopped using so many years ago. And then you say you now want to impose level. The cost of the security contract in Nigeria is one of the highest, if not the highest in the world. What have they done with regard to reducing the cost of contract? Every construction project in Nigeria today is denominated in billion. A kilometer of road will cost about 6 billion. When the material for the road construction is not imported, you get the cement in here, you get the granite here, you get the sand in here. The only thing you probably import is the iron, and then maybe you rent equipment. So why would the cost of road construction be denominated in billions? Awolowo didn't do it in billions. Namdazikwe never executed the road project in billions. Tafawa Balewa didn't do it. Compare the cost at which the cocoa house in Ibadan was built, and then the high rises that we are having in the recent times. How much the government of Nigeria, both at the state level and the local government level and at the federal level, are spending on those projects. It is not fair. In my humble opinion, the Nigerian people should resist any attempt to impose further levies, taxes, and charges on them. The government must trim down the cost of governance first, address the issue of high cost of contracts, and then the massive corruption, embezzlement that is going on in all the public places, right from local government level to state level to federal level. There is no day you open the paper even today that you not have heard that somebody has batted or embezzled 1 billion or 2 billion or 60 billion. Nobody even embezzles millions anymore. That is the direction to go, not to start imposing levies on people.
All right, Tunde Kolawole, let's move away from that discourse now. And still, federal government names groups sponsoring terror organizations.
Well, my sister, that story is not too different from the story of the DSS. Why would you be naming terror organizations if you don't know them? People who have made our lives uneasy, who will not leave the Dubai, the authorities in Dubai can say, look, this and this person are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria, rather than ask the Dubai authorities, give all the details of the people, the names of the people, the organizations that you will know, that are sponsoring. So disrupt, go in there, arrest this party and those other organizations that are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. The whole thing appears very, very childish, coming from an organization being buried to Boko Haram and some of these bandits. You ask yourself, Boko Haram and the bandits, they are stationed in a landlocked area. They have no access to the sea. They have no access to good roads. They are confined to the Lake Chad region. How of these bandits? What have they done to cut off food supply to the areas in which the bandits are operating? Imagine if you are able to block arms and ammunition to those places, if you are able to block the supply of food to those places, if you are able to restrict the movement of vehicles going in and out of those places, the one will have been half won. And also ask yourself, if the Boko Haram people are